Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really getting into something absolutely core to building a business that lasts. We're exploring what makes customers fall in love with your brand. And here's the kind of the main idea. That moment a customer clicks buy now, that's not the end, it's really just the beginning. What happens after that click decides everything. Are you going to get a refund request or, create a raving fan for life? Yeah, because so many businesses, they celebrate the sale, right? And then bam, straight on to finding the next customer. But let's be real, in today's world, your product, it's just not enough on its own anymore. You could have two companies maybe selling almost the exact same thing, but one's killing it with loyal fans, the other's just bleeding customers. The difference, it's almost never just the product. It's the whole experience around it. And that's why customer experience isn't just some, fluffy marketing term. It's like the secret weapon for building a business that's sustainable, profitable. It means steady growth, lower costs to get customers, and people who actually go out and tell others about you.
Exactly. And this isn't just theory, right? We've seen these strategies work everywhere. I mean, from tiny startups just making their first $1,000 all the way up to, seven-figure businesses. The core principles for building that real customer love, they're pretty universal. So if you're listening right now, think about this. Your customers, they're out there kind of waiting for someone to really get their journey, to understand them, and frankly, to blow their expectations out of the water. Our goal here in this deep dive is to show you how you can be that someone, how to turn simple transactions into, well, relationships that actually last.
Okay, so this is where it gets interesting. A lot of businesses think great customer experience, that just means making people happy, fix problems fast, be nice. But there's a deeper level we need to talk about, a fundamental shift, really.
Right. And that brings up a really key question. If it's not just about happiness, then what is it about? See, the absolute best customer experiences, the ones that stick, they're not just about making customers happy. They're about making them feel understood. And that little shift, it changes absolutely everything.
Yeah, think about it yourself. Your best experiences as a customer. What really stands out, I bet it wasn't just the facts of what happened, it was how it made you feel. There's this psychology concept, the peak end rule. Basically, it says we judge a whole experience based on two things. How we felt at the most intense moment, the peak, and how we felt right at the very end. So imagine a customer runs into a problem with your product. That's a negative peak, right? Frustrating. But then your support team doesn't just fix it. They go way beyond, maybe offer something extra, a really generous gesture. Suddenly, that interaction ends on a real high note. That positive ending, it kind of rewires their memory of the whole thing. They remember it positively. You have incredible power over how people remember you just by focusing on those peaks and those endings.
And when a customer feels genuinely understood, wow, it's potent. It triggers three very specific emotions. Emotions that actually drive action like buying more, staying loyal longer, telling their friends. First one is trust. Simple, right? But deep. When they feel you get them, they believe you actually care about their success, not just their money. Makes them way more comfortable investing more with you, whether it's time or, cash. Second is belonging. Humans, we're wired for tribes, for connection. Feeling understood makes them feel like your brand is for people like them. Think about that Coca-Cola Share a Coke campaign. Seeing your name on a bottle instantly felt personal, created this shared moment, a little community. Yeah, and the third emotion is progress. People want to feel like they're moving forward, achieving something. Apple's brilliant at this. Think different, or those shot on iPhone ads. It's not just a phone, right? It's a tool for creativity, for identity, for being part of something innovative. That feeling of making progress with your brand, it can become almost addictive. Or look at Starbucks with their whole third place idea.
That cozy vibe, the smells, the sounds, it's all intentional. Creates these emotional ties, comfort, loyalty. Goes way beyond just selling coffee.
Okay, so what's the big picture here? We like to think we make buying decisions based on logic, right?
Yeah.
Features, price, comparisons. But if we're really honest with ourselves, we buy because something makes us feel a certain way. Smart, safe, successful, maybe even special. And guess what? Our customers are exactly the same. This leads to a really important difference. Customer satisfaction versus customer devotion. Satisfied, yeah, they're happy enough, but they'll ditch you in a second for a better deal. Devoted customers, they're emotionally hooked. They forgive small mistakes. They stick around. They become your best marketers. And the bridge from just satisfied to truly devoted, it's built on making them feel understood. Like someone buying a fitness course, they're not just buying videos, are they? They're buying confidence, maybe more energy, or just proving to themselves they can do it. How do you find those deeper needs? You've got to listen, really listen to their words, sure, but also the emotion behind them. Look for patterns. What do they keep coming back to?
Now, building that trust online, it's a different beast, isn't it, compared to shaking someone's hand. Without that face-to-face thing, customers look for other clues, other signals, explicit ones. Where Harvard Business Review talks a lot about transparency being key here. Customers just won't fully trust you unless you're open. Your process, your limits, even when, things mess up sometimes.
Right. So let's unpack those signals. What builds trust when you're not in the same room? There are several key things, but maybe four really stand out as the foundation. First, consistency. Doing the same great job, delivering the same quality every single time. That builds predictability. Predictability feels safe. Second, transparency. Like you said, being open about your products, your pricing, how things work, even your limitations. Shows you've got nothing to hide. Builds massive confidence. Third, personal touches. Even online, little things matter. Using their name, remembering a past conversation, just acknowledging them as an individual, adds warmth, makes it feel real. And fourth, social proof. What are other people saying? Customer stories, real reviews, maybe aligning with causes people care about, like sustainability. Those are powerful signals that say, hey, other people trust us, you can too. Super important when you can't rely on a handshake.
And what's really interesting, I think, is that these trust-building actions, they don't necessarily need huge budgets. You don't need fancy tech for all of this. What you do need is consistency and authenticity. Think about really simple stuff, like committing to answer every customer email within, say, 24 hours, every single time. Or just genuinely saying sorry when you mess up, instead of making excuses. These aren't just, nice things to do. They send really clear messages about who you are and what you value. Builds trust bit by bit.
Yeah, and when you nail this consistently, something kind of magical happens. Customers, they stop comparing you just on price or just on features. They become loyal to you. The people, the way you operate, the feeling they get, that emotional bond, that's what fuels word of mouth like crazy, turns buyers into real advocates. Okay, let's shift gears a bit and talk about the customer journey. Most businesses have this picture in their head, right? Customer finds us, customer buys, customer gets the thing. Pretty simple, linear. But the real journey, it's way messier, longer, more complex than that. And not seeing that complexity, that costs businesses big time. There are all these hidden moments, interactions customers have that you might not even be tracking. Maybe they save one of your Instagram posts or screenshot your pricing page to think about later, or ask their friends about you privately. These are little hidden touch points. They often matter just as much, sometimes even more than the official stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And connecting that to the bigger picture, lots of businesses overlook some really key digital touch points. Maybe they send tons of promo emails, but their onboarding emails, kind of weak or generic. Or they're not really using SMS for building relationships, just for alerts. Or their online billing is confusing. Or getting live chat help is a nightmare. These aren't small misses. They directly chip away at that customer relationship. And yeah, eventually, the bottom line.
So the journey really happens in phases, doesn't it? And understanding these is crucial. First, there's the investigation phase. And this can be way longer than people think. Weeks, sometimes months. Customers are quietly asking themselves stuff like, can I actually trust these guys? Will this really fix my problem? What happens if I don't like it? They're looking at everything, how fast your website loads, what you're posting on social, can they even find a phone number easily? So many sales are lost right here because the business is only focused on the buy button, not answering these earlier trust questions. Then comes the onboarding phase. This kicks in the second they buy. Huge moment. They need reassurance. Did I make a good choice? How do I actually use this thing? Is help available if I get stuck? This phase totally sets the tone for the whole relationship. If you treat it like an afterthought, massive missed opportunity, because this is when they're often most excited, most engaged, and most likely to tell others if they have a great experience. And finally, you've got your long-term customers. These folks are gold, pure gold. They buy more often, they spend more, they bring you new customers, but keeping them happy isn't automatic. You got to keep providing value, stay relevant, show them you still care beyond just making the next sale.
And to really get a handle on this whole journey, you absolutely need honest feedback. Smart businesses know this isn't just about sending out a big annual survey anymore. They're using a mix of tools, like little in-app widgets that pop up right after someone uses a specific feature, asking very specific contextual questions right in the moment. That gives you incredibly useful, actionable feedback. Not just vague opinions. The trick is to blend different channels, maybe surveys, those widgets, social listening, reviews, to get the full, unbiased picture.
Okay, so you gather all this great feedback, all these insights. What next? How do you use it? You got to document it, map it out. Think of a customer experience map as your visual blueprint for getting better. It usually involves about 4 main steps. First, identify every touch point. Literally list them all out. From the first ad they saw to getting their invoice, obvious ones and hidden ones. Second, analyze the emotions. At each step, what's the customer likely feeling? Excitement, confusion, annoyance, relief. Remember, emotions drive what they do next. Third, prioritize the problems. You can't fix everything at once. Focus on the biggest pain points, especially the ones happening early on. Fix those first. And fourth, implement and share. Make small, steady improvements. And this is key. Share the map, share the insights with your entire team. Everyone needs to see the whole picture. And don't just focus on the obvious stuff, right? Look at your email sequences. Are the generic blasts or actually personalized? What about billing? Seriously, studies show that confusing bills are a huge, often overlooked reason people leave. Every journey map will show you friction points, places where things are clunky, confusing, frustrating, like a form with too many fields or unclear shipping info. But it also shows you potential magic moments, opportunities to delight people, make them feel special, like unexpectedly fast shipping or a quick, helpful, personalized reply. Even small tweaks can make a huge difference. And remember, this map, it's not a one-and-done thing, it's alive. Keep updating it. All right, let's dig into what really makes some businesses just unforgettable, while others just fade away. There are basically 5 core things. 5 pillars, you could say. And the best part, they don't have to cost a fortune to implement. It's more about being intentional, right? About how you show up every single day. These killers are consistency, personalization, proactivity, transparency, and surprise and delight.
You nailed it. Those 5, working together, are incredibly powerful. Let's break them down. First, consistency. We touched on this as trust, but it's worth repeating. It's not about being dull, it's about being reliably excellent. When customers know what to expect, good quality, fast responses, whatever matters most, they feel safe, secure, more willing to stick around and buy again. Maybe start with one non-negotiable standard, like we always reply within 24 hours. Build that habit. That's the foundation. Second, personalization. Making customers feel seen like individuals. But, yeah, there's a fine line, right? Don't want to be creepy. Often, the simplest personalization is the best. Using their name, remembering something they bought before, sending them stuff that's actually relevant to their interests. You don't always need complex software for this. Sometimes it's just about paying attention, maybe keeping simple notes. Make it feel natural, like a friend remembering what you like. Third, proactivity. This is huge. It's about solving problems before the customer even bumps into them, or even knows they exist. Shows you're thinking ahead, that you genuinely care about their success, not just the transaction. Simple example. Someone buys your online course. Don't wait for them to email asking how to log in. Send an automated email immediately with super clear instructions, maybe a quick video walkthrough. Boom! Anticipated need met. Frustration avoided. Fourth, transparency. We talked about this with trust too, but it's a pillar for a reason. Radical transparency, being super open, builds trust like nothing else. Don't try to hide flaws or limitations. Be upfront. Hey, this course takes about 3 months to see results. Or, we're a small team, so support might take a little longer on weekends. That kind of honesty, it actually makes people more confident in you because you're treating them like adults, like partners. And number 5, surprise and delight. This is about those little unexpected extras, going beyond what's required in small, meaningful ways. The key is understanding what your customers actually value. Is it saving time, feeling special, learning something new? For a digital product, maybe it's unlocking a surprise bonus lesson when they finish a module, or a quick, personalized congrats email when they hit a goal. These little thoughtful touches, they turn ordinary interactions into memorable moments, building real relationships.
So when you put all 5 together, consistency builds the trust foundation, personalization makes it relevant, proactivity shows you care, transparency creates confidence, and surprise and delight. That turns customers into fans, into advocates, and you don't have to master all 5 overnight, right? Pick one, focus on it, build the habit, then add another. This intentional focus becomes your edge, your real competitive advantage that's hard to copy. Okay, here's a big question though. How do you do all this caring, personalized stuff when you have hundreds, maybe thousands of customers? How do you scale that human touch without hiring an army of people? Lots of people think automation is the enemy here, right? That it makes things robotic, impersonal. But actually, smart automation, it can paradoxically help you be more human, not less.
Right. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, the rule of thumb is pretty simple. Automate the processes, not the relationships. Think about your favorite coffee shop again, the barista. They've got a system, probably a fancy machine, to make your drink fast and consistently. That's process automation. But the way they greet you, maybe remember your name or your usual order. That's the human touch that makes the relationship feel real. So the balance is, use humans for the high emotion moments. When someone's upset or celebrating something big, use automation for the routine stuff. Order confirmations, shipping updates, basic reminders. What should you never fully automate? Definitely handling complaints needs empathy. Complex questions about your product needs understanding. And personal stuff, like celebrating milestones or offering condolences, that absolutely needs a human.
And you don't need some super complex, expensive system to start, do you? You can begin with basic email automation, welcome sequences for new customers, check in emails after a purchase, sending helpful tips over time. Then maybe look at support automation. A good, searchable FAQ section can handle a lot. Chatbots can answer common questions 24/7 and route the tricky stuff to your team. Just a solid welcome series can do wonders for making new customers feel supported right from the start.
Yeah, the biggest hurdle, though, is keeping it authentic, isn't it? Making sure your automated messages don't sound like a robot wrote them. Simple trick. Write them like you're talking to one person, maybe a friend. Use simple language, conversational tone. Let your brand's actual personality come through. And there's a sort of framework for this. First, always evaluate the authenticity. Does this message sound human? Is it actually helpful? Second, think about the timing. Is it arriving when the customer needs it or just randomly? Third, always provide an easy way to reach a real person. No dead ends. Fourth, time your feedback requests. Don't ask right away. Let them use the product for a bit, maybe a week or two. Then ask. Fifth, make feedback requests specific. Don't just ask, how are we doing? Ask about one specific thing you want insight on. And sixth, super important, follow up on the feedback. Let people know you heard them, whether it was good or bad. Oh, and always let your team override the automation if needed. Flexibility is key.
So what's the bottom line here? Smart automation, done right, doesn't make customers feel less cared for. It can actually make them feel more cared for. They get quicker answers, more consistent service attention right when they need it. And yeah, sometimes technology messes up. But how you handle that, your human response to a system failure, that can actually build even stronger trust. All right, let's talk about something every business faces. Problems, complaints. Imagine this. Angry email hits your inbox, 2 a.m. Threatening refunds, bad reviews, the works. Nightmare scenario, right? But then, by lunchtime the next day, that same customer is writing you a glowing 5-star review. How on earth does that happen? It happens because sometimes the worst moments, they can become your absolute best moments for building loyalty. Seriously, complaints are kind of like a gift. Weird to say, but the customers who complain, they still care enough to tell you. They haven't just walked away silently.
Exactly. And there's actually a term for this, the service recovery paradox. Research, like stuff from Gallup, shows that customers who have a problem that gets resolved really well, quickly, effectively, empathetically, often become more loyal than customers who never had a problem at all. Why? Because you didn't just sell them something, you showed up when things went wrong. You proved your values, patience, understanding, commitment. That creates this incredibly powerful emotional bond that lasts. So yeah, it's a total mindset shift. Stop dreading problems. Start seeing them as these golden opportunities to build rock-solid relationships and create your most passionate advocates.
Right, but when that angry email lands, or you're on the phone with someone upset, it's easy to just panic or get defensive. But there's a system, a way to stay calm and handle it effectively. It's called the HEART method. Simple acronym. H is for hear. Just listen. Let them get it all out. Don't interrupt. Use phrases like, okay, I hear you, or I understand. E is for empathize. Validate their feelings. I can see why that would be really frustrating. Don't make excuses or blame them. Just acknowledge their emotion. A is for apologize. A real, sincere apology for their negative experience. Even if it wasn't technically your fault, just say, I'm truly sorry this happened. No buts allowed. R is for resolve. This is where you fix it. But don't just fix it, aim to exceed expectations. What would truly wow them? A refund plus a discount. An overnight replacement with a little extra something. Think. What would make them tell their friends how amazing we were? And finally, T is for thank. Thank them. Seriously, thank you so much for bringing this to our attention. Shows you value feedback, that you see them as helping you improve.
And connecting this to the bigger picture, the really great businesses, they don't just get good at fixing problems. They become what Nassim Taleb called anti-fragile. They actually get stronger because of problems. They use every single issue, every complaint as data, as a chance to learn and improve their systems so that problem doesn't happen again. It's like building layers of prevention, having clear communication systems so customers are always in the loop, having robust operational systems with quality checks and backup plans just in case, and having dedicated feedback and learning processes to constantly catch and fix the small stuff before it becomes big stuff. Honestly, every problem you solve brilliantly, it becomes this amazing, authentic marketing story that money just can't buy.
So wrapping this all together, what does it really mean for your business? Look, the difference between companies that just kind of scrape by and those that truly thrive, so often it comes down to how they make customers feel, period. And the good news is you can start transforming your customer experience like right now, in the
Mhm.
next 90 days. Not by trying to do everything at once, that's overwhelming, but with a clear step-by-step plan. It kind of breaks down into 3 phases over those 90 days.
Yeah, let's walk through that. It makes it feel much more doable. Days 1 to 30. That's your foundation and assessment phase. Your job here is just to understand where you are right now. Be your own customer. Go through your website, sign up for your emails, buy your own product if you can. Take notes on everything that feels clunky, confusing, or frustrating. Maybe send super simple emails to a few recent customers. Just ask, what did you love? What could have been better? Look at the data you already have. Email opens, website bounces, refund rates, support tickets. What's it telling you? From all that, pick your top, say 3 biggest problems to tackle first, and figure out how you'll measure if you're fixing them. Plan those first small improvements. Okay, then days 31 to 60. This is implementation and testing. Time to actually make those changes you planned. Focus on fixing that number 1 biggest problem first. Maybe it's simplifying your checkout or rewriting your welcome emails. Here's a key tip. Test the change with just a small group first. Maybe 20% of new customers get the new version. See how it goes before rolling it out to everyone. Ask for feedback specifically on the new process. Did it help? And make sure your team knows about the changes and why you're making them. Focus on small, daily progress. All right, finally, day 61 to 90, optimization and scaling. Now you look at the results from month 2. Did the changes work? Are customers happier? Are those negative metrics going down? Are positive ones going up? Now you optimize. Tweak those improvements based on the data. Maybe test different subject lines for those emails or refine the support script. And if something worked really well in one area, see if you can apply it elsewhere. Lessons from fixing email support might apply to social media support too. And use this time to plan what you'll tackle next. Continuous improvement, right?
And measuring this stuff doesn't have to be super complicated either, right? Focus on metrics that actually show how customers feel or what they do as a result. We really like Net Promoter Score, NPS. It's that simple question. On a scale of 0 to 10, how likely are you to recommend us? Super powerful for gauging overall sentiment. Also look at things like your average response time to inquiries, completion rates for important steps like onboarding, and definitely track your repeat purchase rate and referral rate. Better to track a few meaningful things consistently than a million things sporadically.
Yeah, and sustaining this momentum, making it last, that's often the hardest part. The real secret is baking customer experience into your company culture. Make it everyone's job. Share customer feedback regularly, the good and the bad. Celebrate wins when the team creates a great experience. Make "how will this impact the customer" a standard question in decisions. Maybe set up a simple rhythm, like a quick review of feedback every week, a deeper dive into metrics once a month, a full audit of one part of the journey every quarter. And give your team clear guidance. A simple rule like, when in doubt, always do what's best for the customer. That empowers them to make the right call consistently.
So, what's the big takeaway from our deep dive today? You really do have the insights, the strategies, the tools now to totally transform how customers experience your brand. This isn't just about, boosting sales figures. It's about building real relationships. Relationships where customers don't just buy from you, they actually kind of fall in love with your brand. They become loyal advocates. The path is clear, the steps are manageable, and trust me, the results, they're absolutely within reach.
And maybe this leaves you with one important question to really chew on. What's one single small thing, maybe something you can do in the next hour? What's one small step you can take today to make just one customer feel a little more understood, a bit more valued, or maybe just pleasantly surprised? Because that one small action, that's where it all starts. That's the beginning of your experience revolution. It really just comes down to deciding every single day to make your customers' lives better.